I thought it might be a nice idea to chat a little bit about this coffee, the Draco, because I know that you worked very hard on it and that you're very excited about it, and I am too. It's really one of my new favorite coffees. And then I know you have some questions for me too.
Yeah. Draco was my first project at Black Baza. When I joined, that was the time when we wanted to launch something new. Also wanted to launch something for the monsoon, and you came up with the idea let's do something with this cardamom from Kathyayini, and there is coffee from VR Hills. Let's do something which has a lingering taste of cardamom in the finish.
Yeah, I gave you a really vague description.
Yeah. So this base idea was there, and the final what it should turn up was there. Everything in the middle had to be worked on.
Yeah.
So that is where we started, and we started with the ground coffee and ground cardamom. Then we are like, no, we need to give our customers, when they open that bag of coffee, they need to get that smell of cardamom. That's what they are buying it for. Then we are like, okay, to increase the shelf life, let's do something with whole beans. Then we came up with we did a lot of ratios with cardamom to coffee, and we even did it with tea berries, A grade and all that stuff. But
some of your coffees tasted like gulab
jamun syrup, and there's so many so many rounds of cup tasting on this table. I think that was mad. And we also had this vague discussion, I think, in the middle. When I joined, I came with this preconceived notion. Maybe we should not be doing this as a single origin. Maybe this will not be specialty. Then you changed it around, saying that is not what we want our customers to think what we are. We need to serve them in a way that they enjoy the coffee. If it's good, it's a specialty coffee. End of the day. I think that's how we started working towards it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think both of us were wondering whether as a specialty coffee roaster we would be seen as, in some ways, I know you use the word
adultery.
Exactly. Yeah. Would we be seen as, in some ways, diluting the idea of what a specialty coffee is, as really just being all about the coffee and coffee only. There was a couple of discussions that we had that I thought was so enriching, because one of it is we didn't want to be bound by the idea of what a specialty coffee was.
Yes.
And we feel that many people who drink our coffee also don't want to be bound by this assumption or bias of what a specialty coffee is, right?
That single origin, or end of the day it just needs to make you happy. End of the day you should be comfortable with that cup of coffee. That's what it is.
And also one of the larger philosophical things I think for me is that coffee comes from very diverse landscapes, and cardamom has been part and parcel of where coffee is grown, at least in this part of Kathyayini and the whole Sakleshpur area in Karnataka. So it became almost how can you think of only coffee is not single origin. There's so many different interesting produce that come from these regions.
So
right?
True. And I want to ask, why Draco? Do you remember the time I came to you? I'm I think this was the second or the third one. I was so done already with the cardamom. So much cardamom all around while doing cupping. I'm are we doing Dracula today? And you're Draco.
So many reasons. I mean, the first time that I've seen the Draco lizard twice, both times in Kathyayini, on our partner cardamom producers land, and both times I saw this particular species, I was just completely mesmerized. So we have to find a way to get you to see the Draco very soon. But it's just an incredibly mystical species, because I spent a couple of hours just sitting on this rock watching it glide from tree to tree, and it was incredible. And so that's, I think, the origin of where I said, okay, we must do something that has a memory of this particular species. but also something that has cardamom because that's where I happened to see it. So that's what the origin of the name Draco was.
So this coffee this transports you to that place where you're just sitting on the drop, seeing the Draco.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.